Okay, we're live. Good morning, everybody. Back up so I'm not totally washed out. Oh, we're a little bit hippie, aren't we? Let's see. That's a little better. Not quite so crazy inducing. Okay, good morning. Welcome to Flow Together Wednesdays. Get you to see a little less of my carpet. There we go. A little more Ganesh. All right, today we'll be using blocks. We're going to start out on the bolster. Welcome to Flow Together Wednesdays. Waiting for the studios to open again. We're kind of half open now in our area where we can do the chill out yoga, like the yins and a gentle hatha, but we're saving the power yogas and the aerial for a little bit later when things start to open up a little bit more. So I'll be doing this at least until that happens, and probably at least until I can get outside with the yoga in the park. Okay, so let's get our bolsters or rolled up blanket or cushion. We're gonna have it perpendicular. We want this under our rib cage. And we want to be able to clear our arms. Okay, so we want our elbows to be sinking into the ground. All right, so move the messy buns or whatever we got going on. Is this a little too much strain for the neck? That's why we have the block to create a pillow, a low pillow, a medium pillow, even a high pillow. Just sink the shoulders in, sink the collarbones into your body. Legs have lots of choices. We can Baddha Konasana first thing. If that's not feeling so good, we can broken bridge it. Feet to the edges of the mat, knees leaning into each other. You can extend long if you like, because our primary focus here is kind of this lovely space under the arch of the ribs. Also the ribs, also the back ribs. Everything above, like the navel and above. This is our Manipura, the superficial location in our bodies of the Manipura. Our core. Manipura is in the 7 chakra system, the one that's really popular here in the West. It's the third. It's solar-plexus chakra is another name for it. The actual translation is resplendent jewel, or sometimes alternatively city of jewels. And as our core muscles pretty much support our entire physical being, our strength, we can drive a lot of strength up out of our core. If anybody's ever taken martial arts, you know that your movements, even though you're moving an arm, you're actually originating the move from the core. In a analogous way, Manipura is the source of our emotional and mental strength, the fire of our will. And so as we put ourselves into a place to explore our inner landscape, we can start to imagine kind of this light, this yellow light, sunny light, feeding the furnace with every inhale and spreading that warmth around to the rest of the body. And just take a moment to connect with your strength. Where do you derive what is a strength? What supports you? We often don't give a lot of thought to our strength because we tend to focus externally, and we tend to focus on things that need attention, and usually things that need our immediate attention are when things aren't going quite right. So let's let's take this little oasis of time to focus on our strength. And even if you don't maybe have a specific word, that's okay. Maybe if you just have a vague notion of what your strength is, just kind of hold on to that, feed that, let it grow and change. Let it kind of hang out here in the arch of your ribs as we breathe across that space. Okay, I think we're ready to move. 2 more breaths here. Fueling our fire. And then we'll get rid of our pillow. And if the knees need help, let's assist them together. On the exhale, we're going to roll onto the left side. Stack the knees. Just take a breath here. Inhale. As we exhale, we're going to roll through center and over to the right side. Big inhale, flaring out the torso. Exhale to move. Big inhale here. Exhale, roll back through. Okay, next time we come over to the right, we're going to stop here for a minute. Tuck the chin a bit. Really explore how the breath rolls over the bolster through the body. And let's bring ourselves in up to rest on the elbow. Okay, so we still have the bolster under our ribs. Okay, we're going to kick the right foot out straight ahead, and we're going to slide this left knee back. We're going to take the right arm and get the foot. Roll the right shoulder open. Pull the knee back. Okay, if you're not feeling anything in the left quad, pull the navel in. Okay, by pulling the navel in and up, what you're doing is you're neutralizing the pelvis. So you're coming out of a back bend and into that quad stretch. Okay, release the leg. Come back on down to our little side bend over the bolster. And exhale, we'll come to the other side. You get to see it from the back. Now let's come on, prop ourselves onto our right elbow. Okay, stack the knees to start. Kick the left leg out straight and curl the right foot back toward the bum. Get it with the left hand, roll that left shoulder open so we can easily look up toward the ceiling. And now to find that quad stretch, pull the navel in and up. That's going to send the tailbone down and lift the pubic bone toward the chin. Kind of a variation of cat getting its tail. And release. Let's lift up, get the bolster out of the way, and come back down onto our backs. Scoot out my mat a little bit. Let's give ourselves a nice big stretch. On our exhale, pull the navel in, draw the right knee into the chest, nose comes to knee. Inhale, stretch it long. Exhale, move from the core. You're going to pull that leg in, drop the navel in first. When the knee comes easily, the knee just kind of like follows along. Okay, adding on, if this is too much for the neck, you can keep the head down on the ground. Okay, this next one, we are going to keep our head on the ground. Let's bring our arms out to a T. Okay, we're going to inhale the right leg up, straight. Exhale, it's going to cross the body and tap the carpet over onto the left side. Inhale to come back up. Exhale down. Start the movement from the core. Inhale up. Exhale over. Straight leg if you don't have a window in the way. Inhale up. And exhale down. Let's keep both shoulders on the ground. Right leg comes up. reaches over to the left. Roll onto the outer left hip. Inhale to come back up. Exhale over that heel. Inhale, lift. And exhale, twist. You can do this with a bent knee too, if straightening it is a bit of a strain. We're just trying to keep things up here. And down. Excellent. Let's go ahead and draw the knees into the chest. We're going to rock and roll our way up to sitting. Take your time getting there. Massage the spine all the way out. Keep the chin tucked. And we'll come up to Tsukasana. Ankle in front of ankle, cross of the shins, whatever feels good. We're going to set the hands in front of the knees, and we're going to inhale, push the heart up, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, rock all the way back on the tailbone. Navel hides in the ribs. Inhale, lift up. Move from the core. Core pulls in first. The body curls around it. Last one. Let our inhale bring us up to neutral. Well, arms nice and wide, palms to the sky. Pull the thumbs behind the heart, but don't pop the chest. So try to keep our core. You're going to hear that a lot today. Keep your core. And pull the thumbs behind the body. Neutral spine, tuck in the chin. On your next exhale, hands come to the shoulders. If you've been with me before, you've probably done Bhastrika breathing. It's a beautiful way to warm up, especially around the core, because we're twisting across that space. So we're going to inhale from the left. I'm not going to mirror you because I want to do this with you. So we're going to inhale from the left, exhale to the right, in and out through the nose, very strongly. You're at home, so you don't have to worry about scattering your droplets. And now try to find where it's the back of the throat that's pulling and pushing the breath. So we're not just sniffing. It's coming from the throat. You might need a tissue for this. That's fine. Now you can speed this up if you like. So it could. I've seen it go pretty quickly. So. But make sure you don't sacrifice the vigorousness of the breath through the nose, clearing out those nadis. And you can slow this down too, but just make sure you retain some vigor. Okay. About 20 more seconds. Close the eyes if that feels good. Let's keep the chin tucked. Make sure our upper arms are parallel to the floor. We're not muscling into anywhere. This is just momentum. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. And on 1, let's come back to the center. Inhale, hold the breath, elbows up to the sky. Exhale, release the hands down to the thighs. Let that whirlwind ride through the body. And let's bring our knees into the chest. Give them a nice big hug. Drop the forehead in toward the knees. Curl the navel in toward the spine. Breathe through the back ribs. Our inhale will press into the thighs. Look up, lift the chin, breathe against the thighs. Do that one more time, cross the ankles the other way. Drop back, forehead touches the knees. Pull the navel in strongly. So the breath, the only place the breath can go is side body, back body. And now the press up, lift up. Breathe against the legs. And release. We'll roll over the ankles. Walk the hands up to the top of the mat. Tuck the toes. Let's come into a down dog. We're not going to stop here because we're going to make sure that we have a beautiful distance here. Shoulders over wrists. And a bounce to the toes. Find the lift through the core. So a lot of people think, oh, I need a lot of arm strength for planks. Actually, the more we can find the lift through the core, the easier it is to just hang out here and play. It's like a dancer, right? A dancer that does lifts. It's not only up to the man to have strength to lift their partner, but or if a woman's lifting a woman, it's really up to the liftee to have that, to create that sense of lightness in their body, and that's what we're doing here. All right, now that we have a nice good plank distance, let's lift back up into our downward dog. Let's come up all the way up onto the toes. Bend the knees in. Bring the lower ribs to the thighs. Now let's keep the upper body as it is and sink the heels. Let's do that again. Inhale, come up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees and press the ribs in. Inhale here, get long to the upper body. Exhale, sink the heels. Inhale up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, press the lower ribs toward the thighs. Inhale here, strong through the arms. Exhale, sink the heels. Lovely. Okay, on this inhale, we'll come up, roll back out into plank, and lower all the way to the ground. Release the arms. Bend the feet, get the feet. Okay. Spiral the inner thighs toward each other. And maybe we stay right here. Maybe this is good for us, or we're going to kick in, and we're going to rock and roll. And hi, Manipura. Rocking into our core. Okay, let's stop rocking. Take a nice big breath into the mat. And melt it on down. Big belly breath into the earth. Feel it animate the whole girdle, central girdle of the body. And hands under shoulders. Push on up, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Okay, exhale everything. Look to the top of the mat, hop or step. And once we get there, we'll inhale along the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. This is our first lifting up. Let's soften the knees, draw the navel in, leading our lift. And roll on up to standing. Beautiful. Let's bring the feet hip width apart. Inhale the arms up, holding onto our beach ball. Let's lift up from the heels through the core. Let's keep a hold of the core as we exhale over to the right. I am mirroring this time. Hips go to the left. Inhale the center. Reconnect with our abs. We protect our spine in the side bend. So by connecting with the core, we transfer the support from the muscles of the back to the stronger muscles of our core, the bigger muscles. Reach out, and then inhale up. That's the other way. Inhale. And out. Let's bring the feet together, hands to heart center. Okay, we're going to inhale, reach out, press the hips forward. As we exhale, palms come together, knees bend, and we just come right into a twisted chair to the right. Okay. Inhale to sweep the arms up, press the hips forward. Palms come together. Exhale, we bring that elbow to the outside of the right knee. Left knee. So just move left. Inhale, reach up, little standing back bend. Exhale, curl over to the right. Twisted chair. Inhale. Exhale, navel pulls in. We really need our core to help make this move strong. Last one. This one we sweep it up. Arms come wide. Lead with the heart. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to the ground. Step or hop back into Chaturanga. Slightly bent arms and all the way down. Inhale, press the heart forward. Pull the shoulders back. Exhale to down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, send it through the hands. Generating some heat. Manipura is fire. Inhale to lift. We're just take one breath here. Inhale to reach through the fingers. Exhale to sink through the hips. And our next exhale, hands come down. Step it back. Vinyasa time. So take your vinyasa of choice. My friends who are just beginning with vinyasa, I'll explain that on the next round. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, send it through the hands, lower on the right knee. We inhale to lift. Exhale to sink through the hips. Inhale, maybe lean back just a little bit. Exhale, reach forward and down. Step it back into plank. And on the exhale, we come into our push-up. That could be a knees push-up too. We come up to it on an inhale into a back bend, which is either a cobra or an up dog. And exhale back to down dog. And then we take these few breaths to kind of come back to ourselves, reconnect with our core, reconnect with our strength, and really nurture that sense of strength. Hold it in the fire of our core. The more attention we give to the things that we care about, the more they arise in our lives. All right, finish your next exhale. Look to the hands, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, along spine. Pressing into the shins of the floor, and exhale over the legs. This time we'll keep a flat back as we reverse our swan dive all the way to the top. Exhale to namaste. We're going to do the exact same thing, except we're going to be doing a crescent lunge for our lunge portion. Now, those of you who are really familiar with sun salutations, find the core in every transition and every asana. Inhale, lift up through the right leg. Exhale, bring it through the hands. Stay up on that back heel, knees over the ankle. Let's lift up on an inhale. Exhale to drop through the hips. Inhale, maybe lift the heart a bit more. Exhale, where's the core? What's the core doing? Lower all the way to the ground. Inhale, not all the way to the ground, all the way into your push-up. Inhale to rise into up dog or down dog. And then exhale to down dog. Okay, let's inhale the left leg up. Exhale, send it through the hands. Find the core, especially in our transitions. That core is what's going to help us lift in strength. And then hold us there. Exhale down. Send it back. We come into our push-up or knees push-up. We come into our back bend. I'm in cobra right now. And exhale, back to down dog. Take this downward dog time to settle the mind into the now. So fire is the element most often associated with Manipura. And even though in English we call that area our solar-plexus, the planetary symbol most associated with that area is Mars. Mars, fiery red, martial, strong, courageous. Finish your next exhale. Look ahead, step or hop. And let's inhale, long spine. Let's exhale to fold. Inhale to lift all the way up, keeping the heart open. Exhale to namaste. Okay, we're going to do the same one, except this time our lunge is going to be warrior one. Now, don't worry too much about perfect alignment. We're going to do some warrior one work later. Warrior one is a great one for Manipura. I mean, warrior. The Manipura is basically the warrior chakra. Let's inhale the long spine. Exhale to fold. Step or hop it back. And lower. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Reach back with the toes. And exhale to down dog. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, send it through the hands. This time we set the heel on the ground. Try to keep the hips more or less square as we lift. You might not be ready to do that yet. Exhale, sink through the hips. Make sure our knee doesn't come past the ankle. Inhaling up. And exhale down to our chaturanga, our push-up. Elbows close to the body. Inhale, press the heart forward, shoulders pull back. And exhale. Inhale, lift up from the core. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Pivot on the back heel. The toes are pointing more or less ahead, about 30 degrees. Inhale, let the core help you lift. Exhale all the way down into the push-up. Whatever form that push-up takes, except let's keep the elbows in line. Pull the shoulders back. And exhale. Now that we got some fire going in the body, move it around with your breath. Finish the next exhale, look ahead, step or hop it. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise all the way up. Exhale to namaste. Move from your center. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lead with the heart. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, lower down. Tricep push-up. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to down dog. Okay, we're going to inhale that right leg up straight. Do not stack the hip. This is a stacked hip. We're going to turn those toes so they point down. As we exhale, we're going to come forward into three-legged plank, shoulders over wrists. Hover the foot. Inhale straight up and back. Keep the hips square. So roll the inner thigh, that right inner thigh in. Inhale. Exhale, come in. We're going to take, I hope if you can create a space between your big toe and your second toe, hook it onto your heel, just above the heel, ankle. Okay, and in our plank, we're going to pull that heel back. We're going to squeeze the heel and pull it back with our toes. Find your core. A little toe stretch with a heel stretch. All right, let's take that right foot, step it forward. Lower down to the back knee. Okay, scoot that knee back as far as you can. Make sure the right knee is over the right ankle. And we'll inhale to lift. On our exhale, we're going to bring our hands, interlace the fingers, and bring the fingers right on up into the hip crease. Push down on the thigh to lift the heart some more. Try to keep the upper body lifted away from the thigh. We'll release the left arm, reach up, and take a side tip. So drop the right shoulder as we reach up and over with the left hand. Keep pushing away from the thigh. Keep pushing into the right hand. And let's come on up. Let's replace the right hand with the left hand. Push down on the thigh, lift the heart. And now this right hand, we're going to start to twist to the right. The right hand's going to reach back around and take the outside of the left thigh. Maybe we can look back at those toes. Okay, release the thigh. Both hands come up. As we exhale, hands come on either side of that front foot. Let's go ahead and get our blocks. So you have 3 sizes for your blocks. And we're just going to slide back into a couple half Hanumans. Just inhale to come forward. Exhale to slide back. Enjoying the movement, enjoying the activation of the legs. And notice the core. Yep, coming back to that again, because we're going to be sick of hearing the word core. Let's see. Feeling the physical Manipura moving you through this mostly leg pose, right? Pull back from the abs. Okay, next time we come forward, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the back leg, lift the back knee. Okay, now we're going to reverse our breathing. So as we exhale, we're going to drop the hips. And as we inhale, rise up to more of a pyramid variation. Keep the back heel lifted. Keep stretching through that back heel. Mostly looking at working the left leg. You might be getting a little kind of incidental hamstrings on the right leg. But let the drop be more significant than the lift. All right, let's come to neutral, find our balance, and let's lift up into Crescent Lunge. Every inhale, we lift up. The core helps us find that lift through the chest. Every exhale, we sink into our feet, both of them. And we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Keep our hips, pull the right hip back, nudge the left one forward. We're just going to go hop, hop, and maybe the left foot floats. And we come into an airplane. I'm running into my curtain. You can extend your wings wide, keep your hands on your hips, or feel free to hang out with your blocks. Just soft fingers on the blocks. Now let's bring hands back to hips wherever they are. We're going to set the foot backs down, not as far as you would typically do a warrior one. A lot of warrior one tends to cover the mat. So let's start out about 2/3 of the way back. Square the hips to the top of the mat. Bend into the front knee. We need our full focus charging ahead for warrior one. Warrior two is open and strong. The warrior one is, so let's hold our hips, sink that left heel into the mat. In fact, get some weight into it. And now press from that heel forward. Okay, that feels pretty good. Then let's step it back some more. Okay, watch this left hip come open. Square it up. Straighten the front leg first so we can really scissor ourselves the right direction. Knee comes forward. Arms can come up. One more breath here. And as we exhale, hands come forward and down. Take a vinyasa. Okay. Left leg comes up, straight up and back. We're not going to stack our hip. We're going to turn those toes to face the ground. And as we exhale, we're going to come into our 3-legged plank. Inhale, reach up. Roll through the inner thigh. And exhale. Inhale, pull through our strong muscles of our core. Inhale, lift. Sink the right heel. And we're back in our three-legged plank. Flex the toes. Try to find a space between our big toe and second toe. Hit the ankle, hit Achilles. Lower the hips and pull with the left foot, pull the right heel back. Okay, let's free up that foot. Let's step it forward. Lower down the back knee. Let's scoot the right knee back as far as we can. Inhale to rise. Okay, we're going to interlace the fingers, bring them right into the thigh. Slide the index fingers right into the hip crease. Push down to lift the heart. Lean back a bit. Breathe into your right forearm. Okay, we're going to keep the left hand there in the hip crease, pushing up and back. Reach up with the right hand. Drop the left shoulder and we'll tip to the left. Inhale, reach up with the right hand. Exhale, the right hand replaces the left. We start to twist to the left. Reach back with the left hand. And you get the outside of the right thigh. Roll open this left shoulder. Push into the left thigh. Creating our space. Our next inhale, let's rise. Exhale, hands come down. Find our blocks. And even if you're like, oh, I never use blocks for this pose, just give it a try. Doesn't really change things. But it might get you into a place that you're not used to getting into. Allow yourself to be surprised. I went through that whole multi-year phase of thinking props. I don't need props. Only beginners use props, which is a myth. Props are awesome. One of my favorite props is the wall. Oh, actually, that's not true. My favorite prop is the hammock. There's a certain grounding in a block that I like. All right, let's tuck the back toes. Let's lift the back knee. We're going to shift up our breathing. So as we exhale, we're going to drop the hips. And as we inhale, we lift. That's the opposite of what we were doing before. Exhale. Inhale. So they push that right heel back as we drop. Recognize the role of the core and how the core behaves in the transitions. Okay, we'll sink in. Let's find our balance. Crawl up the thigh or just sweep on up to our crescent lunge. So most of the weight in that back foot right there should be in the ball of the big toe, toward the midline. It's more and more inhale to lift the heart, let the heart sing. Exhale, hands to hips, and we're gonna hop, hop, float that right foot. Again, we want to keep the top of the foot pointing toward the ground, so we're not half mooning. And maybe we extend our wings. Maybe we use our blocks to kind of take turns with our wings. Right? Just play, experience. Let yoga be a joy. Roll that right inner thigh. Keep the hips square. And now as we step back, we're going to come back 2/3 of the mat. Okay, straighten the front leg, square the hips. Almost like we're about to go into a pyramid pose, but we're not going to. We're going to bend into the left leg. Everything square, facing the day, facing our experience. Interlace the fingers, find our sword, lift it to the sky. If it feels okay for the neck, look up. Okay, if this feels pretty good, you got your hips nice and square for the most part, let's go ahead and step back a bit. Okay. Otherwise, stay in the 2/3 or even halfway up the mat and really work on rolling the right hip forward and pulling the left hip back and having weight in both feet, particularly the back heel. Bend into that leg, striding forward strongly. Core. You can see me, I'm kind of in a back bend here, but let's try to come out of the back bend as much as possible. Okay. Find our sword, lift it high. Point the chin at the thumb knuckles if it's okay for the neck. So you notice that I'm not crowding my head with my shoulders. So even though my arms are reaching up, my shoulders are back supporting my chest. Next, exhale, hands come down. Step it back for a vinyasa. Inhale for our up dog. Exhale back to down dog. And we'll drop down onto our knees, toes come together, sit bones to heels, melt the heart into the earth. Maybe you thread the hands through the body to hang out by the toes. And if you do, you probably have a cheek on the mat. Come back to your full experience of being. The weight of the ground beneath your body. The brush of the air across your skin. The touch of your clothing against your body. The sounds of the room. Whether you're hearing them through my mic or you're hearing them in your own room. And resist the urge to discriminate. Resist the urge to wish for something different. Just let the whole mosaic of being whirl around you. Take that same objectivity, compassionate objectivity, and look inward. And that level of compassion and patience takes, what does it take? Takes courage. Oh, here we are back at Manipura. Yeah, it takes courage to be able to carve a new pathway in your way of being and thinking. It takes that sword, that fiery sword, to kind of slash through old limiting ways of thinking. Okay, let's bring our hands nice and long. Walk them in. We're going to come to kneeling. If kneeling doesn't work out for you, you can stick a bolster between your knees and your sit, or your heels and your sit bones. Kind of relieves the knees a little bit. But if your knees are just saying no, that can't happen, go ahead and just come into Tsukasana. It's fine. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of Kapalabhati. I love Kapalabhati. It's called the skull shining breath. It works with the Uddiyana Bandha, the navel lock. Okay, so I like to do it kneeling because it allows me to kind of round my spine a bit, so I can create kind of a cavity for my navel. So what it is we exhale all the air out, all of it. Squeeze out the lungs so you have nothing left, and then pull the navel in and up so it can almost as if it's going to go hide under the sternum. And then you're going to, with the breath completely exhaled, you're going to just pump the navel in and out. There's no air in the lungs, so you have all the space to massage the organs and kind of really give them a squeeze. And then when you feel like you need to inhale again, release the belly first and then draw a nice inhale. If you don't release the belly first, you end up kind of gasping. So release the belly and then take a regular inhale. So we're going to do 3 rounds of it. So you might hold it longer than I do, and that's fine. I'll give everybody a moment to catch up. So I'll even let you see my belly. All right, exhale everything. I like to tuck the chin, get a little bit of lock there. Okay. Navel gets, now if I talk, I'm not going to be able to have no air in my lungs. So navel comes in. Can you see that action? Okay. So let's all do that together. Air's out. Lock it in. And pulse. As you take that smooth inhale, elongate the spine. And prepare to do it again. So I like to round the shoulders a bit, just a little curve to the spine, a little tuck in through the chin. We'll do that one more time. Kind of a spring cleaning for our guts. Once everybody's finished with their last one, just kind of sit with that energy. Let's take a little twist one way. And twist back the other way. Okay, we're going to come around to, we can either lean out and swing our legs around, or if you want to take a vinyasa to get there. I'm going to hit my blocks if I'm not too careful. You can either do the full jump through. I'm going to do a half jump through today. Don't feel like kicking my cork. And we'll all extend our legs nice and long out in front of us. Okay. Let's find our Tadasana. Flex the toes in toward the face. Roll the inner thighs in toward the ground. Roll the shoulder head back. Snuggle the shoulder blades on the chest. Hands come down by the hips. Maybe even pull the fingers back a little bit and find that lift through the heart as you do. Core, navel comes in. Our breath ends up in our side body and back body. Reach out with the chin, tuck the chin into a little notch at the bottom of our throat. It's our throat lock. Strong Dandasana. And next inhale, let's reach up. As we exhale, we're going to dive forward, reach past the toes. Inhale, slide the fingers along to the hips or sweep them up. Exhale, reach out. Hands settle on the ground at the end. Inhale, slide them back and up. Okay, on this dive, we're going to stay. So reach forward past the feet. If we can hold the outer blades of the feet and pull the outer blades back, our thumbs at the bones of the big toes, nudge them forward. And now, even though we're coming to a fold, let's keep a flow going. So as we inhale, we lengthen out of the hips, long spine. Exhale, melt the spine. So inhale to elongate. Pull the chest forward. Exhale, melt over the legs. Okay, you can even do that from up here. Lift the heart, sink the heart, sink the head. Lift the heart. Okay, notice the core's action in this little flow. Witness how the core creates the length. And let's inhale to look at the toes. Exhale to come on up. We're going to take our reverse plank or reverse tabletop if reverse plank is not a happy thing for you. Whether you're doing the tabletop or the full reverse plank, either way, we're going to roll our shoulder heads back and lift the chest. Okay. Once you got the shoulder blades supporting the heart, shoulders back behind the chest. Because a lot of times I see a lot of this, and this is going to be hard to get a lift here. So roll the shoulder heads back, squeeze the shoulder blades, then lift the hips. Okay, you can either look to the ceiling with the neutral neck or release. Enjoy your strength. Lower on down. Go down here. Oh. All right, let's roll it on back down. Let's take our knees with us. Once we get here, just feel out how you want to release as we come into our final poses. Stretch out the legs, roll around the sacrum, sway the head, curl in. And we'll extend long, take a nice big stretch. And then we're going to hop the right heel off the right edge of the mat. Body's in the center. Inhale, let's lift up the left leg and cross the left ankle over the right. Now check in with the left hip, make sure it's rooted into the ground. That feels good. We're going to snuggle the shoulders over to the right side. So we come into our bananasana or crescent moon. If anybody's been outside, you saw the crescent moon out there in the evening. If you don't have clouds. So the arms can remain on the tummy, or you can reach them up overhead and the right cheek can snuggle into the right upper arm. Everything curling over to the right. And then soften into this pose. The only effort is the breath. Now the seed mantra for Manipura is Ram. I love it because it's like a growl at the beginning of an om. So it's just like an om. It starts out with a ah, ra, and then comes in little constricted with and closes with 3 parts. Just has that at the beginning, which is very appropriate for Manipura. Ra. And so I've been training myself. If chakra symbolism works for you, it's a nice activity. Whenever I feel kind of flagging in my confidence, I kind of train myself to kind of hang out here with my strength on the mat and reverberate the mantra Ram through my body every time I exhale. Not out loud, just inside. And so that I create a link in my mind, in my brain, a pathway in my brain that connects the strength that I'm settled into because of my practice and the chant of Ram, so that when out in the world, when I'm finding my confidence flagging, I can kind of bolster myself up with the sound of Ram because I've already created that pathway of hanging out in my strength. Okay, let's work our way back. to the center. Now that we stretched out the left side, let's bring the left knee into the chest now. And draw that knee across the body. Let's take a nice twist. Left shoulder comes down into the ground. We look over our left shoulder, or we look up to the sky. We can either hold on to that, we can prop up that knee, get a block under the knee, or weight it down. And then work on pulling the breath to the hip, particularly the left hip. So the inhale is going to push the tailbone down, creating more length through the torso. We're breathing across the Manipura area. Soften around the strong breath. And let's come back to center. Let's give ourselves a big stretch. And now the left heel is going to walk off to the left side of the mat. Right leg comes up, cross the ankle over the left. Root down through the right side hip. Make sure both glutes are balanced on the ground. And then we can start to snuggle our shoulders. Use our elbows. Keep the hips in the middle. We can make that curve with our bodies. Hands can rest on the belly or come on above our head. We look down. We can take a peek at our toes and our heels. And then breathe from moon tip to moon tip. And let's come back to center. Draw the right knee in. Pull the knee across the body, roll onto the outer left hip. So our hips are basically stacked here, but then we want to bring this right shoulder back down. So if that brings the knee back, that's fine. We want to keep the shoulders down. And then just use the weight of this knee to kind of bring more space through the torso. And then just soften, get heavy with everything. And get strong with the breath, pushing the hips away with the inhales. Looking back over the right shoulder, if that feels okay for the neck, or just keeping the gaze upward. The fires of our will. You say, oh, I have no willpower. Yes, you do. But just like anything else, it's a muscle. Coming onto the mat takes a little bit of will, takes some tapas, some heat, a little bit of mental, spiritual toughness. So appreciate that. You don't have to throw yourself a big party or anything. I mean, you can throw yourself a party. But just compassionate acceptance. That place of compassionate acceptance allows us to come from a place of security where we feel confident to take some risks. We have our foundation. Our foundation is established. Then stretching our boundaries starts to feel good. It does. Not at first. Never does at first. It's always uncomfortable at first. But just like with yoga, you start to look for that discomfort because you know, you test your edge, you play with your edge without expectation. And come on back. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Pull the knees in. Release however your body wants to release. We're just going to do a short shavasana because we're a little short on time here. Dedicate 3 minutes. So for some of us, especially younger me, shavasana took a lot of will to settle into. A lot. It took more effort to chill out in shavasana than it did to stand in, I don't know, Crescent Lunge for 2 minutes. So if you're that kind of person that needs a little bit of extra effort to come to shavasana, let's see if we can kind of exert a little rawness into our shavasana. So we'll release the body into the ground, a few big belly breaths. We're going to dedicate the next 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, I'm even giving you a deadline. To hang out here, soften through the chin, soft, don't holding on to nothing, and just breathe with the sound of Ram. Every exhale, you can whisper it out into your room, or you can keep it inside. You can belt it out if you want to, if you're so inclined. 3 minutes of just exhaling Ram and inhaling through silence. If you're feeling visual, maybe you can imagine the shining light of Ram, this sunny yellow light, this fiery yellow, flaring up with the inhales and sliding around the body with the exhale. Last breath here. For my friends who want to continue, please do so. hit mute or something. Everyone else, start to deepen the breath. Start to bring movement to the hands and feet, the head. Taking a stretch. Walking in. Curling onto one side. Gentle tuck of the chin. So anytime we're in shavasana, that's a flexion for this, or that's a extension of the spine. So we end with just this little gentle release. Kind of curling ourselves around our strength. Whether that strength flares out into the world or whether we're just nurturing it within. Let's honor it. And as you're ready, let's make our way up to sitting. Get any wiggles out that want to come out. And then we'll all take a nice big inhale together. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Then instead of our Om, we will use our Ram. And then our 3 Shantis. So let's take a nice big inhale to hold the breath. Exhale, everything pulling in the navel to squeeze out the lungs. Fresh inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As we exhale, gently tuck the chin. Honoring the divine fire that burns within you and within all of us. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for Flow Together Wednesday. Next one is our heart, which is a great way to start spring because our first day of spring is coming up over the weekend. And so opening up through the heart, blossoming is going to be our theme next week. So I hope to see you there. And for those of you who are joining us later, thank you for joining us. If ever you have any questions during this live stream, please just leave them in the comments. I check the comments before I sign out so that if somebody has a question, I can answer it. If you have a question later, I think there's still comments going on, then I'll get the notification and I'll try to get an answer for you. Or if you have a request, I'll also take requests. So I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your week. Bye for now.